Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? You gotta love this picture. This is Mark Cuban buying Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Look, it's not that bad, but he has lost a pretty good chunk of money. And even with all the money he lost, he's still 6 times a billionaire. Must be nice. Anyways, there was an article coming out with Mark Cuban talking with Bill Maher, in which he was bashing gold and praising cryptocurrencies. But there's something we need to take a look at because his logic doesn't seem correct. Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, head on over to our friends at Money Metals Exchange. The link will be down below in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code PIMPYSILVER. Yes, it has changed. PIMPYSILVER. So if you're watching this video and it's an older video, make sure you check on current videos because the code is going to be changing from time to time from now on. Also, I can be found on other platforms. Everybody knows I have my own website, Pimpy's News Network. Over here, I post videos that I can't get away with over on YouTube. Also, I have a group on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. Come on over here and join us. It's free to do so. You can also come follow me on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and Odyssey. The links for all these platforms will be down below in the description. So for whatever reason, if I get removed off of one platform, you could find me on the others. So even after everything with FTX, cryptos went down slightly, but not as much as I had anticipated. I really thought that Bitcoin would be closer to about $14,000 or $12,000 right about now. So it's a good thing it's still up there, but it's nowhere near where its highs were. So Bitcoin's at $16,888. Ethereum's still above $1,200 at $1,224. XRP's at 36 cents. Dogecoin is at 7 cents. Cardano's at 26 cents. Polygon's at 81 cents. Polkadot's at $4.52. Look at Litecoin at $70.54. Shiba now has 5 zeros with an 8. It has definitely dropped down some. Still, many people are anticipating the dominoes to continue to fall. We're just waiting for Tether to be the next stablecoin to crash. And it looks like all indicators are that that's going to happen. So I know they're scrambling to do what they can to save the token, and it doesn't look like the markets are responding as of yet to Tether's possible collapse. And you can see them right here, the third on the list as far as market cap is concerned. So that makes them a big dog. Despite the other cryptos losing ground, Terra Luna Classic just continues to hover around about the same value. It's still at 301. So I still have a lot of faith in Terra Classic will rebound enough for me to feel very happy about it when it's all said and done. So again, Terra Classic is at 0.00016. Even Saitama is still hanging around where it was. It had gained to 0, but then lost it again. It is at 0.00109. And you can see over the last 24 hours, it's done really good. These are two of the cryptos that I have. I'm not a fan of cryptocurrencies that everybody knows, but I took some gambles on Saitama, Shiba, and Luna Classic. Just because, you know that saying, a high tide lifts all ships. And if Bitcoin goes up, I know these other ones will follow. And they have a lot more to gain than any of the other cryptos. Silver's at $23.89 an ounce. It keeps fighting that $24 level, which is fine with us. Just keep accumulating. But I want to show you something. This is since October. You can see right here. Since the middle of October, we're now past the middle of December. Remember, the trends for gold and silver are, once August comes, the values of gold and silver start to drop down as people get prepared for the holidays. But once we get right around November, we start to see the value of gold and silver go up. That's been the trend for the longest time. And the trend still continues. And then we see a huge rush after the first of the year. January's coming up here quickly. In January, then we start seeing the rise in February, March, and April. So I hope you're stacking now, because when those prices start to go up, they're going to pretty much stay around those levels. You're not going to see it this low again, in my opinion, unless something dramatic happens, and I just can't see that happening. But you can see right here, as of October the 14th, when silver was around $18.17 an ounce, it's now at $23.89. That's just in the past couple of months, and that's a pretty good jump in money. That's $5 an ounce. That's not including premiums, but you can see it's consistently going up. Over here in gold, you got $1,804.60 per ounce. It's still hanging around that $1,800 level, which is surprising. You can see pretty much the same thing when it comes to gold. Around October, it got to its lowest part, which is around $1,623. It is now at $1,805 approximately. So it's up almost $200 an ounce. Gold and silver, that's where your money should be right now. Right now, I'm hoping that you're stacking up on your gold and silver. Had you took my suggestion when I said you take out 25-30% of your nest egg and put it into gold and silver, you're sitting real good right about now, because the market took a pretty good dump along with cryptocurrencies. They lost a huge percentage of their money. Although gold and silver did dip down, they're now going back up, just like I talked about. For those of you who took my suggestion and ran with it, congratulations, you should be sitting pretty good. I was stating this before, that American dollars are being used as a weapon. It's being used to help crush currencies around the world, and it's actually working. This is why you're starting to see a lot of countries are looking for alternatives to the U.S. dollar. They're trying to get away from it. Not to mention they use the SWIFT system, and the U.S. dollar are used to crush the economies of the enemies of the United States, or people who don't go along with their agenda. Lots of countries are fed up with it and are now looking for alternative ways to do trade. Suddenly everyone is hunting for alternatives to the US dollar. And this is something I've been speaking about now for the past year and a half. It says, tired of a too strong and newly weaponized greenback, some of the world's biggest economies are exploring ways to circumvent the U.S. currency. Smaller nations, including at least a dozen in Asia, are also experimenting with de-dollarization. And corporates around the world are selling an unprecedented portion of their debt in local currencies, worry of further dollar strength. It says no one is saying that the greenbacks will be dethroned anytime soon from its reign and the principal medium of exchange. Calls for peak dollar may have many times proven premature, but not too long ago it was almost unthinkable for countries to explore payment mechanisms that bypass the U.S. currency or the SWIFT network that underpins the global financial system. It said now the sheer strength of the dollar it uses under President Biden to enforce sanctions on Russia this year, and new technological innovations are together encouraging nations to start chipping away at its homogeny. Treasury Office declined to comment on these developments. Hell yeah, they're not going to tell the truth, because people will panic and lose faith in the US dollar and start seeking alternative investments like gold. This will simply intensify the efforts of Russia and China to try to manage their part of the world economy without the dollar. So they're already working on that. And it's not just them. There are quite a few nations who are tired of all the bullying from the United States. As a matter of fact, these articles go on and quote officials as saying that they're tired of the United States bullying their countries as well as others. That's not what they want. So the dollar is going to be able to enjoy this ride, but not for much longer. Eventually, it's going to crash. People are tired of what's going on. And once they find that alternative method and mechanism, you're going to see a huge portion of the world's population get away from the US dollar. You can see right here, Mark Cuban doubles down on Bitcoin while dissing gold. Well, Mark Cuban's an idiot, and although he's rich, doesn't make him a genius. Well, it kind of does. Billionaire tech entrepreneur Mark Cuban is still bullish on Bitcoin, saying that he wants the price to continue dropping. Yeah, if you're rich and you have plenty of money like he does, like discretionary funds, then you don't mind if Bitcoin goes down, because he can afford to lose money because he's got tons of it. and then buy Bitcoin when it's cheaper. He says, I want Bitcoin to go down a lot further so I could buy some more. The owner of the Dallas Mavericks said that investing in gold wasn't worth it, adding that he much preferred digital assets. Wasn't worth it. Is that right? So Mark Cuban likes Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin. Okay, well, what do you mean investing in gold wasn't worth it? Well, let's take a look. So look at it. This is Bitcoin going all the way back to 2017. If you jumped on the bandwagon anytime between when it was first released, even as far as March 15th of 2020, and you bought it around there, then you made money off of it. But if you jumped on Bitcoin as it was going up, you lost money. And once we got around September 2020, it really took off. Then in May of 2021, we saw a drop down, but in July it rebounded and hit its highest peak going around in November of 2021. And then it crashed. And it went from its high of where we at here, 65,466. It's now sitting at 16,873. At one time it had a 70% loss in value, and he's saying that gold wasn't worth it. Well, if he thinks Bitcoin was worth it, he's sadly mistaken. So anybody who bought crypto prior to November 2020, then you had some kind of gain or no loss. Anybody who bought Bitcoin after that, you experienced loss. And if you bought it anywhere as of November 2021, then you had huge losses. Okay, so I don't know what he's talking about. Gold is not worth it. Let's take a look at gold. And I still don't think it's done crashing Bitcoin. But let's take a look at gold. Gold only goes back to 2001 here. And what do we notice? Well, we notice that gold started to really go up in the beginning of 2000s, and it continued to climb. You can see gold was at $1,873.70 at that time. December 2015, you can see this is 4 years later. So like I said, gold goes up real slow and comes down real slow. So December 2015, once the price bottomed out and it stopped dropping, gold had got down to $1,076. But since then, it went from $1,076 to where we are today, which is at $1,813. As a matter of fact, when I was talking to people about buying gold and silver, gold was around $1,200. So people are ahead of the ball game. Some of you might have bought when it was up around 2,000. I wouldn't panic. It's regaining. And as I stated before, since October of this year, have been steadily going up in value, unlike cryptocurrencies. In his statement, what he's saying is that, look, see right here, gold is a store of value, and so is Bitcoin. Really? So if I lost 70% of my value, is that a store of wealth to you? And that happened in only a few months' time? I don't think that's a store of wealth. So for him to say, you know, they're both a store of wealth, I don't know what kind of protection or storage of wealth that is. I would not consider Bitcoin a store of wealth. It's one thing to go up and down slightly with swings of 5 to 10%, but not 70%. Is Bitcoin going to go up again? There's a good chance it will. A lot of us are counting on it, but again, I have no faith in cryptocurrencies. In its entire history, gold has always been a true storage of value. I've done the example many times, showing you how many ounces of gold it would have took back in the 1930s to buy a house. And if you had the same number of ounces today, you still could buy a house. So the true purchasing power of gold never changes. And all we've noticed about Bitcoin is that so far it has not been able to survive any type of financial crisis, unlike gold. You don't see central banks around the world breaking records, storing up on cryptocurrencies. No, they're buying gold, and so should you. Anyways, that's it for now. Leave a comment down below, and I will get back at you later. I'm out.